What's going on, Conscious Crew? It is your favorite breakdown commentator, CTV. We are here for a late night episode of Hot Topics. You already see from the title what we're here to get into. But before we do so, I need you to go ahead and hit that old nasty piece of thumbs up, honey. Thumbing up not only helps with YouTube's algorithm, but more importantly, it triggers up the notification system. So when you thumbs up or press like on this here video, you are literally knocking on the digital front door of other Conscious Crew members who have no idea that we're loud, live, and in color, shaking that ass on this Saturday night. Also, make sure that you have your notification bell set to all, because you never know what day or hour the king shall be king. And girl, we just got done with an old nasty piece of almost 9-hour long Discord, girl. I was almost not about to make it here tonight, girl, along with my co-host, girl, who are also damn near co-much host from today's events, okay? So I hope y'all appreciate us putting in that work for y'all. Also, make sure that you share the stream out to wherever it is you have digital media at, girl. Post your favorite clips and segments of the show to your Insta stories, your Facebooks. I don't give a damn. Make reels out of shit. You know, I live for all of that. Carrying on, honey. Share the link to your Twitter, to your personal OF and Tumblr. I don't give a damn where you lay the link. Just let them whores know the real loud, live, and in color. And with no further ado, let's go ahead and push on through.
I know a place where you can recharge your soul.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
And in the midst of brokenness, he gon' see your asshole.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
You gon' heal, you gon' laugh and catch a little shade.
Ooh, girl.
Y'all know he be slaying, y'all better stop playing. Come hear what he's saying.
Ladies and gentlemen.
All right, I want to welcome my two favorite co-hosts this evening who are helping me to fly this commercial plane. What's going on, Reckless, who you guys know just also co-hosted with me on the previous dialogue. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How's everybody doing?
Everybody is well, child. Happy to have you back out here on these streets. You know, the folk be missing you and stuff. So can you tell the folk where they can also find you? Because you are a content creator as well.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Land of Reckless Logic. Please make sure you guys pop that like button, hit the subscribe button, and please, please, please smack that notification bell so do not miss any more posts from us. My name is Reckless Logic. You can follow me on YouTube at Reckless Logic, and most definitely hit me up on Instagram at Reckless Logic. That's it.
That part. Okay. Links are being distributed accordingly by the handy dandy usher. Shout out to my ushers. What's going on, Tramel?
Hey, boo.
How you feeling on this old nasty piece of Saturday?
Let me tell you one thing. I watched this a smidgen. I would say a good 7% of your live this good old Saturday. And I'm just so disappointed.
No, not disappointed. Okay.
I mean, I was thoroughly entertained, yet very just disappointed. Because, you know, my unbothered spirit was bothered.
Okay, so do you want to elaborate? What were you disappointed in?
So that bitch was crazy.
Oh, God.
And I'm just going to leave it at that. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I'm just going to say it. And she does not represent the Leo community. I'm sorry. She probably must be an August one because I'm a July baby. I don't know.
You revoking the Leo card from it.
You know, I could see the vibe of the Leo, but she was just, I mean, I know we can be loud and wrong sometimes, but she was all the way left wing. I'm like, child, get that bitch a biscuit because she's buttered up and tired.
Goddamn. It might have been a good thing you didn't hit the link. It might have went left.
Yeah, I had thought about it. I wouldn't have went in on her because she's not a person that you would have conversations with. She would just be a person that you would just ignore. Like, because when you have conversations with people, it should be a natural dialogue. Like, and I saw the way she was over talking people and stuff like that. And I know that happens in arguments, but it was like, they would say something to her or say something, you know, into the effect of what she was discussing. And she's like, no, that's not what I said. So tell me what I said. I'm like, girl, oh, just nasty, so nasty and so rude.
So, shout out to Neo X. Oh my God.
Exit on
Yeah.
out, bitch.
My baby mother. The
Like, baby, if I tell you,
some
if
people
I would
got
never have a
fans. My
conversation with
God.
somebody like that, I would exit stage left. I wouldn't have even been arguing with her. I would be like, "Oh, girl, you got it. You win."
You know what? Well, it's supposed to be a part 3 happen. I'm not sure who the part 3 will all entail, but I'll keep you posted on part 3 of the discussion, child, because it's just a ball that keeps on balling at this point. However, there are some people on this panel that on this docket that I want you guys' perspectives on. Y'all know it's a lot going on in Hollywood. And we didn't want to take up a lot of time, so we narrowed it down to 4 topics tonight. So are you guys ready to get into
Period.
I'm ready.
Let's do it. So of course, up first, girl, is y'all favorite big bitch, Lizzo, girl. Okay, y'all know Lizzo is being sued down boots, baby. They trying to take everything from the wigs to the calories right off of Lizzo's ass, baby. She has several dancers who are accusing her of sexual, racial, and religious harassment, child. You guys know that a viral TMZ interview got done where the dancer spilled the beans, and you guys know from my initial commentary that I felt that the interview did not, unfortunately, do the dancers any justice. It actually harmed them a lot, but we'll get into that a little later. Okay, well, since the dancers have came forward with their attorneys in tow with a lawsuit alleging these allegations, you guys know Lizzo also responded on Instagram. She did refute the claims as untrue. She called them outlandish and damn near difficult to even believe, and she now plans on nasty piece of countersuit, okay, against these ex-backup dancers. She will be countersuing for malicious prosecution. Now, the singer's lawyers allege that her former dancers happily met with topless performers, while dancers' legal team assert the claim doesn't change any of the facts. Lizzo's attorney shared photos, which is the one here on the screen, with People magazine of Ariana, Crystal, and Noel apparently happily backstage frolicking with topless performers from the Crazy Horse Cabaret show on March the 5th of 2023 in Paris, after dancers allege that Lizzo pressured them into attending the performance while on tour. Now, Lizzo's attorneys also argue that because all 3 dancers returned to work after this Paris trip, with one of the dancers even submitting an audition tape to partake in Lizzo's TV show, Watch Out for the Big Girls, in which the dancers, Miss Davis, stated that she even wanted to walk in the singer's footsteps, that it proves that this lawsuit is a goddamn sham and nothing more than a money grab smear campaign motivated by bitterness and clout, according to the attorney. That same dancer, Miss Davis, also was apparently caught in a lie, because not only did the dancer praise Lizzo after the infamous Paris trip, but she later tried to explain that she was referencing events that took place after Paris. But Lizzo's attorney points out that those sentiments are contradicted by the photos and the initial claims and other circumstantial evidence which cite that the alleged events took place prior and during the Paris trip, not afterwards. The dancer's lawyer says that he's looking forward to seeing Lizzo's big ass in trial, and that he's prosecuted drug cartel. Therefore, he's a bad motherfucker. Okay? Now, social media, which I'm going to get my panelists to speak on this as well. Actually, I'll return to that. Lizzo, no, actually, we can get to it now. Social media has been arguing this plight, right? Ever since Lizzo's attorneys have spoken out and said that, hey, these hoes were happy lovable, up Lizzo's ass, thirsty, hungry, and pursuing major proximity to her, and that they were happy, as seen here demonstrated in this picture. All of the alleged so-called victims are front row here. Okay. First thoughts is, people have argued that people who are not happy with their bosses and are not happy with their jobs constantly put on a fake smile. That these dancers smiling in these cabaret photos, that they were pressured to attend. They show they were pressured to attend, and that they had to suck, they had to touch and suck on things in that easily. People fake it all the time. Reckless, what are your thoughts about that argument? That them smiling and being jovial does not prove that they weren't disgruntled or that they weren't violated and unhappy?
Yeah, it's like on both sides I see it, because it's like on a regular workspace environment, I can understand a person not being 100% satisfied with their workplace or the environment, etc. But however, when it comes down to taking pictures, or you have to present yourself in a certain light because you do represent Lizzo, and you guys are quote unquote a unit, and she is the face and you represent her, then yes, you will put a smile on your face. But at the same time, I'm not gonna be sitting up here sucking on things that I don't want to suck on. And at least I don't know. Because like I want to say that, but at the same time, it's like I'm also taking into context. These is like the stuff they have alleged are like some top tier, over the top stuff. Like you sucking on, I want to say a banana, I think it was. Sucking on, like it was like, yeah, like you over there sucking on bananas and then using it, making banana pudding and stuff. Like, girl, that's too much. And I don't think a person could be able. I could be wrong, but I don't believe that a person would be able to do all of that and 100% smile and nobody knows anything. Like no one doesn't pick anything up. But then again, at the same time, I can most definitely say the same thing for the R. Kelly victims, where to the public eye they looked fine, but behind the scenes, a lot of things happen. So I can see both sides of the spectrum.
Okay. Tremel, what do you think about putting on a brave face and being a team player at work while you really want to go Columbine in the workplace?
I think people should really take into account that this is not just work. It's not just a 9 to 5 job that you can just like pick up and quit whenever you feel like, you can just, oh, I work at McDonald's, I could just go get a job at Burger King. Like this is literally like most of these girls' dream job. So you're gonna put on that smile, whether they were happy or not. Like that still remains to be said, in my opinion. But I feel like you're gonna do whatever you got to do, even if you're in your dream job and you have this grand opportunity to work with somebody who could take you somewhere for real, for real. So I think that, yeah, they were probably faking it real hard and probably didn't want to do half the things that have been going on. My only issue is, if you really weren't that happy, or if it was really like that damaging to you, you should have said something just a little bit before you got fired. That's my only thing. Not saying that you shouldn't say nothing now, but just sooner would have been better. It would have made your case a lot better if you were, oh, I'm doing this because she's making me do this, but I'm still working for her. I didn't get fired, but I just don't like it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Lizzo, sue these hungry assholes into the ground, cause ain't nobody gonna be smiling that goddamn hard with the aftertaste of a used dildo that's been in another bitch's hot box all day and be to the front of the line at that. These niggas just mad that they endured nipple clamps, anal swabs, and a forced diet of Wits crackers and faucet water, all in the name of being Lizzo's favorite, just to be fired for being late and unprofessional as hell. And now them hoes is coming for all three of Lizzo's chins. And I'm happy Lizzo is fighting for her name and her innocence, when it seems to me that Lizzo is only guilty of being too comfortable with her employees and being a bitch. But sexually and religiously harassing them when they continue to pursue proximity and employment to this alleged monster, it ain't giving that.
Now that is fair too.
Because once again, baby, that TMZ interview exposed it all when homegirl said, and yes, because all the other dancers who was with the shits, they got to go to Hawaii and they got to go to the volcanoes in Madagascar and they got to be on private jets and everything else. Like, oh, okay, so y'all feel away because y'all tried to play the game in order to get these unnecessary perks that actually don't have anything to do with your job as a dancer, because you spending personal time and having personal proximity to Lizzo is not a part of you being her backup dancer. And that's not a part of your aspirations of being a backup dancer. These are unnecessary perks that she is also personally allowed to distribute accordingly. She don't have to be personal friends with all of her employees. Just like in any other social situation, there are people that you're going to be closer to because y'all have more in common, and people that you're not going to be close to, and they're just going to be co-workers. There may be co-workers you go out to dinner with and lunch with and grow an actual friendship with, and then the other girls you only see on set. Okay, like, and it's fine and it's dandy. So that interview was very telling about their mindset. These people just really feel, it seems to me that they just feel away because they were doing things to compromise themselves for extra perks that wasn't even in alignment with being an actual dancer. And then they got professionally reprimanded for being late and the other professional discrepancies that led to them being fired. And now they mad as hell because they done ate dildos and they done ate dildo banana pudding, in the words of Reckless, and they ain't got shit to show for it. So now this is all the makings of an epic revenge plot and to recoup on all that coin that they feel they would have had Lizzo favored them and rewarded them accordingly. I have seen these situations so often, y'all, where we take the word of people, aka Carly Russell. We take the word of people, Shan Quasia Sharpton, who initially made allegations against Usher and then retracted and recanted her statements, stating that she just wanted to know what it felt like, what 15 minutes felt like. And so I am not one of those people anymore, especially when there's no explicit facts being presented, to just jump to the side of people who make an allegation. These are simply allegations. And when social media was criticizing Lizzo's side, like, well, girl, this don't mean nothing. A lot of people smile and be unhappy with their job. So my question then to those people is, then how exactly is Lizzo supposed to defend herself if you can just literally discount everything she can use to support her innocence, but just automatically side with these people just because they have an allegation? That's not really fair and just. You can look at both sides and be analytical and be critical in your assessment of both sides, but to just jump to the side of either and then to criticize one person's evidence of their innocence and to just take the word of another motherfucker because of an allegation, you know, I'm just not willing to do that. So I'm happy that Lizzo is standing up for herself, and it looks like she's prepared to see these dancers to court, and it's going to be interesting to see what the conclusion is. Does anybody here, before we move on to the next story, have any prediction about who y'all think or the way this case is going to end? Do y'all think, first of all, if it does not end in Lizzo's favor, do y'all think this is going to have a very negative profile impact on her career? Do y'all feel like if she is to win, it would actually vindicate her, or would this drama and stain on her reputation always kind of hurt her, even if she does get a legal victory?
I feel personally, only because I've seen it time and time again. Doesn't matter if she win or lose the case. People who believe one thing are gonna believe it, whether you've been vindicated or not. We've seen that time and time again. I don't want to bring up personal situations, but we've seen it even when allegations have been made against people about sexual assaults,
Mhm.
and even when the facts and even when the evidence that's being presented solidifies that a said person is innocent, people are still going to believe what they want to believe. Um, so that's all I got to say. That's I don't know, but I believe people are going to believe what they want to believe. People still believe that Tory didn't shoot Megan, even despite what evidence may have said or didn't say. And you have people that believe that Megan was still lying about every single thing. She knows who the hell really shot her, and it wasn't really Tory. So people are going to believe what they want to believe, honestly.
Okay. Tramel, any predictions about how this would impact her if she loses or wins?
I think she will. I mean, if she loses or wins, like Reckless said, I feel like she is already squashed. Um, her image has been tainted beyond repair because they attacked her whole brand, like her whole existence. People are always rooting for the big girl with the confidence and stuff like that, but now she's a fat shaming sex, like accused of sexual acts, of so she's not going to recover from this in full form. She'll probably still be famous, but she won't be looked at as a. They're really going to be. She's going to have to be very clean and pristine from now on. And I don't know if she can live like that. That's a hard life to live. And I will also add that those dancers, unfortunately, their stories aren't very good, in my opinion. One of them, I remember her saying, "Oh, I came back after a break and I danced and I may have gotten a little bit bigger, but my energy was still the same." Girl, how do you know what that looks like? To be perfectly honest, like that whole spiel made me feel like, oh, girl, you don't deserve no money because you came back bigger than what you left and you think you danced the same. And just because you feel it doesn't mean that's what it looks like. I've seen people dance different after they've been through
Mm.
some things. Like just
Yeah.
because you feel like you danced good doesn't mean that it actually looked good. Does that make sense?
It absolutely makes sense. And because dancing is it's a very heavy cardio
Yeah.
workout.
And it's
Lizzo,
also subjective. It's like I could be dancing my ass off and think that I killed it. And somebody could be looking like you were
mhm.
sloppy or your energy was very low or you wasn't doing this with your arms. Like very
Yeah.
critical. It's a very critical skill to have. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So her thinking like, oh, I was good. I did my thing. No, you probably didn't. And that's probably why they got rid of you. And they probably put it off like, well, you have gotten bigger. You probably a little bit depressed. And she's like, they were talking about my mental health and how I've gotten bigger. Like, girl, it happened. You said
Yeah.
it.
It's called
So
a employee assessment. Your boss is going like has a right to assess you
absolutely.
and your
So you getting
performance.
fired for your performance is a real thing. You can't say, oh, she was fat shaming me. No, you just wasn't moving your big ass good enough no more.
Yeah, because it's no such thing as your standard. You work for Lizzo, so it's about her standard. Like you can feel you killed it all you want to. It's about Lizzo ultimately being satisfied with your capability and your skill set. And because dancing is a cardio, if you are taking on more weight, that would obviously bring reasonable concerns about, okay, what's going on, especially if the observer also feels they can see the impact of the weight gain in your actual performance as well. So it is an easy thing to weaponize in this case because you have like these big women, and then you got the issue of like fat phobia in the world, and Lizzo's trying to provide a space for plus size women. She's a plus size woman herself. This is a part of her brand. And but because you are heavyweight and you're being given this opportunity, I would assume that you also have to be prepared to for there to be conversations around your weight if you're coming into the space at a certain weight and then you gain weight, because Lizzo obviously probably has a standard on where that needs to cap at. Like, of course, she wants to represent big girls, but y'all are also going to be touring. You're going to be on set all day. You're going to be doing a show for 2-3 hours at a time. And so where the weight lands in terms of how much and how less can create a liability issue for her. So it's interesting that these dancers who are a part of a brand that's kind of about like big women being empowered and being emboldened kind of seem like they actually were the opposite, and they suffered from self-esteem issues the same way that Lizzo has been blamed for pretending to be proud and happy with something that she ends up turning around crying over when she's criticized for it. Her dancers seem to be made in the same likeness as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, and I got one more thing to say.
Okay.
When it first happened, I said she must have not signed them Illuminati papers, and that's it.
Not the Illuminati papers.
Yeah, they must have offered her that contract, and she was like, "Nah," and so now they got to get her up out of here. That's why this is happening to her.
People been
Allegedly.
saying that. People have been saying that, like that Lizzo might have upset the powers that be, baby. Like she getting that Jonathan Majors package. Like they doing her the fuck in. Is it coincidence or is it by design? There's a lot to.
Girl, you just won a Grammy. Why is you getting all this happening to you? I don't understand.
Is it by design or is it just by happenstance? There's a big argument there, honey. It's a lot. We've seen a pattern. Like a Jonathan Majors. It was wild watching what unfolded with him. Like everybody just came out of the woodworks, and there was all these extreme allegations. And even though he had evidence to back up that he did not abuse this poor, disgruntled, bald-headed mayonnaise woman that he took this Uber with, he was still canceled accordingly. So yeah, it's unfortunate because this type of damage can be irreversible for a lot of public figures. So so we'll be keeping our eye out on the development of this case, seeing where it goes. I'm sure that both sides have not put out all of the evidence that they can put out. So we'll see what else both sides have in the bag, and we will continue to assess the situation. If the dancers make a more convincing argument and they have things that can substantiate their claim, then I'm willing to take side wherever the truth is. So we'll keep an eye open. Speaking of truth and eye open, y'all favorite bald-headed sister girl in Christ, baby, Funky Dineva, has came under major controversy and fire because on a recent episode of TGIF over on Miss Fox Soul, Miss Funky dragged the living hell and dog shit out of Chloe Bailey because she decided to defend her sister Halle Bailey for
Halle.
I said Halle, right? Halle Bailey. Okay. Halle Bailey for pregnancy rumors. Okay. Apparently, some folk think she's waddling. Some folk think she needs, a power scooter to get to her seat at the Renaissance tour. Some folk think that they are seeing, 9 months worth of pregnancy underneath a wide back, loose fitting dress. So the conspiracies are running as it relates to Halle's alleged possible pregnancy. And Funky Dineva did not appreciate that. So he dragged her accordingly. But more so, he dragged Chloe, who chimed in and told everybody to keep her sister's name out of y'all motherfucking mouths. Okay. And Funky Dineva found that to be corny and goofy, and also chose to call Chloe ugly and said she basically looks like shit without makeup. As a result, there was a goddamn digital insurrection made against his ass, and the heat was felt to such a degree that Fox Soul actually edited out Funky's initial segment and talking points in that particular episode. They also deleted the video because, you know, Fox Soul, they would turn the segments into individual uploads. For those who don't want to sit through a 51-minute show, they deleted that as well. And then Funky Dineva came back the very next day, as we probably all were suspecting. He more than likely got some phone calls as a result of all of the heat, because Fox Soul was probably getting work put on them. And he addressed the matter. And he also got dragged for his alleged apology. But I'm going to let you guys listen to Funky for yourself, okay?
And makes a statement. And I always sit on this very platform and be like, that shit was so fake. Ain't nobody believing in this prefabricated statement that this person read and it's phony. And with that being said, I'm not going to give y'all one, right? I did get the phone call. I did get the email. We think that you should provide an apology and show some remorse. And I didn't want to get up here and just say some regurgitated stuff that I was encouraged to say, because y'all are not going to believe it anyway, and it wouldn't be believable, especially considering the fact that I said what I said with my whole chest. I 100% stand 10 toes down on the fact that I think Chloe Bailey is inauthentic when it comes to her as an artist. I think that the sexual image that she gives sometimes is unbelievable. And I think that in her defending her sister, the whole, clapping back, and I just thought it was inauthentic. I do. But I also recognize that that's probably where my commentary should have started and stopped. I don't have my head too far up my own ass or so far in my own ego that I can't recognize the fact that I did cross the line when I started talking about her looks. That was below the belt. It was unnecessary, and it was non-germane to the story at hand. And for that, I do apologize. So again, I apologize for going below the belt when referencing Chloe Bailey's looks. They had nothing to do with the story at hand. And this was a learning lesson, and I hope to move forward and not repeat it.
I am super.
Okay, hold on. We got a little commercial break here that we want to skip through. Shout out to Fox Soul.
It was like a personal thing with you guys. Like, did she do something? Was it like a background? Because how you came for her to look so hard. Like, was there anything personal? Was it just you?
No, I personally don't think I came super hard, but I also recognize the fact too that Chloe is unproblematic, especially with the Black community. She don't bother nobody. Even I have to say that. And so people are going to be extra sensitive when it comes to our unproblematic princesses in the community. So, I totally get it. And like I said, I can look back on it and realize the looks portion of my comments is where the line was crossed. And I do apologize for that.
I appreciate.
Okay, so that was Funky's.
Play the next part.
Oh, it's another part. Hold on. I thought that was the bulk of it. Hold on.
He said, play the next part.
I get a lot of messages in my inbox, especially Black women. They're like, he's coming for us, and we support him the most. And I think a lot of women were definitely hurt by that.
I understand. I totally understand it.
Okay. All right, y'all.
Okay.
Thank you.
So you guys know that I have already spoken about this. I did a whole separate upload addressing Funky's sentiments and the whole controversy and all of that. And I really said everything I had to say. So Tremel, I'm gonna go to you first. What are your feelings about Funky's apology?
I thought it was the most inauthentic apology I've ever heard. I felt like you meant what you said, and like he said it with his whole chest. And the only reason he was apologizing was not because he was actually sorry. It was because he was told to do that. And they told him, like, look, bitch, we can't have you doing that type of stuff. We got too much back from that. So you're going to have to apologize, or we're going to have a conversation. And I feel like that's why he got up there and did that. And I feel like that last part that you played, which I asked for, was, Claudia actually saying, hey, this is what I got back. This is the feedback. Like, and women, like Black women really was offended by that. How do you feel about that? He's like, yeah, okay. Sorry. Like he's really like more so agitated that he has to actually do the apology than actually apologizing. You know what I'm saying? It just comes off very, like he says about Chloe, disingenuous. He seems fake as fuck. And you know, prayers for that man and his mental illness, because he thinks that talking about somebody's looks is funny and or a way to attack somebody's character. Because, child, you look how you looking and you stay looking how you looking. So, girl, I guess that's where you want to go with that.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. How do you feel about those same black women also being upset with Claudia Jordan because they felt like she sat back and did not defend Chloe or check Dineva either? Do you have any feelings about how Claudia handled the situation at hand?
I mean, at the end of the day, grown people are going to be grown people. So checking somebody is definitely always best, because, you know, they always say, hey, if it happens in front of you, then it's happening to you. You know what I'm saying? So you should say something. She should have said something. She should have spoke up, and she probably had to do some damn damage control herself. So don't let things happen on your platform with your coworkers that you're not okay with and not say nothing. Just like Nia Long or whatever the fuck that bitch name was earlier, and y'all just sitting back letting that hoe talk.
Oh, child, we did not sit back and let her talk, honey.
Nah, I'm just playing. I just want to get up under your skin.
Oh my gosh.
Neo ass got pretty. She got dragged through for 9 hours, baby. She was even mad
But
at
not
us.
as y'all should, because you know you actually have an image to uphold as well on your platform, and the people who are up there, they're all responsible for what is being said and what's, you know, even if it's not you saying it, you're responsible for it because you're in the space. People associate you with things in your, like y'all tried to tell me the other day, your silence is
it's complicit.
It's complicity. Yeah.
Yeah. So like the only difference between me and Claudia is I would have challenged Funky on it and not just have said nothing. He has a right to say what he said. I would have asserted my right to have an opinion about him saying what he said, and then we would have moved on swiftly and professionally. Okay, so Reckless, your thoughts on Funky's apology? Inauthentic, or you get it?
It is what it is in terms of his apology. I remember before me and you was actually on the phone. I remember I told you, I said he's gonna apologize, and I'm gonna say like 2 minutes later you found out that he apologized. Now whether it's authentic or not, because a part of me does feel, and I could be wrong, does feel that he did apologize for going in on her looks because they had nothing to do with the context. But however, he still don't like her. And I'm just gonna tell you, my biggest thing when it came down to Funky Dineva is that it's like the hypocrisy of everything that came out of his mouth. Because you went in on Chloe for coming in defense of her sister, and you attacked this woman because you don't like her, because of her music, because of whatever, her sex appeal, etc. Okay, cool, that's valid. But then you went a step further in terms of the reason why, quote unquote, you guys, and when I say you guys, black community or people he may be referring to, are disappointed in Chloe about her being pregnant, is because you don't like the guy that she's with. But the thing that I found very interesting is that how can you sit up on a platform and hold Hallie. Yeah, I know we're gonna get this right. We're gonna get this right.
Y'all not gonna do that.
We're gonna get this right. We're gonna get this right. That's what we're gonna do. Hallie.
It's like a Halle Berry. Halle Berry.
Call her Hallie.
Halle Bailey.
You say Halle Berry, don't you? You never say Halle Berry.
Halle Bailey.
Hallie. Okay, so Hallie, I'm playing butcher. I'm trying, y'all. And the thing that got me with when it comes out to that, how can you hold her to a higher standard than you hold yourself? You're literally on the platform and you trying to say that you don't approve of the guy that she's with because you feel like he's corny, that you feel like he's not the one, etc. Okay, cool. But yet in your real life, in real time, let's not forget, let's go in a time machine, let's go all the way back to where on the episode of TGIF where Al Reynolds actually exposed that you almost lost your life to Big Dick Derek, aka the Trade, where he had you by your ankles over the balcony. But yet you trying to talk about the dick that she's associated with, but yet the dick that you're associated with almost took your life. So how dare you sit on a platform trying to judge somebody
And
for the penis that
married.
Right, and I forgot he said on his platform as well too. So the dicks that you're associated with have literally almost took you the fuck up out of here, and also the dicks that you're also associated with are also in a legal spiritual agreement, married to other people, but yet you want to hold her to this different standard that you don't ever hold yourself.
Oh, he said he a top though.
Yeah, whatever. But another thing with that as well too, Funky, is that you went after Chloe because it's inauthentic. But okay, that's cool. That can hold some weight. But let's also be very clear as well. You're very upset that Chloe came in defense of her sister, and you said it was inauthentic. But people can say the same thing about you. There has been many occasions, many times on your platform, on different platforms, where you have openly admitted that you cannot fight. You can't fight, you can't swing, you can't bang, and you won't bang, but yet you read people left and right. And if people didn't know that you couldn't fight, you act like you can. So the exact same thing that you said about Chloe, it can be said about you. And the exact same thing that you talked about Hallie. I had to stop and try to get it right.
Hallie, you got
Hallie.
I'm about to put a
like
star.
Hal Jordan, Hallie.
I didn't think of Hallie. I didn't think of Halle Berry. Like
Halle Berry.
That's how I remember it.
Hallie. I'm gonna practice it because girl, that pronunciation be messing me up.
Ariel Bailey is enough too because she worked hard enough to earn that title, Ariel Bailey.
So Miss Bailey, you were able to talk about Miss Bailey and the dick that she's associated with, but I'm like, sir, you associate with dick that's not good for you either. So how dare you literally sit on your soapbox and try to judge somebody? How dare you literally sit on your soapbox and make it seem like, oh no, you should be doing this. Well, no, you shouldn't be married with. You should not be messing with married men. But yet we let you live and you do what you want to do. You shouldn't be dealing with Big Dick Derek or Big Dick Darren and over here losing your life because he's sitting up here holding your ankles off the rooftop. But yet you're trying to sit on your soapbox and talk about other people, and you talk about about Chloe being inauthentic, but sir, you can't fight. But you read people and talk about people like a dog. Now, if someone was to pop your ass, it'd be an issue. Because the way that you present yourself is inauthentic. So if you can't fight and you talking to people crazy and you like to read down, what happens after the fact when they knock you the hell out? That's all I got to say.
And now you know, oh, Reckless, what his response would be to your soliloquy. He would say, even with me having my bussy hanging over the roof side by Big Dick Darren on Cell Block 8, the reality is, bitch, I ain't adjacent to Disney, so I can be a ghetto heathen from the slums of Miami. I ain't adjacent to this child brand where it matters who in my ass or whose
child's
ass
brand. Get the flying fuck up out of here. You know what kills me with this shit?
If you're not on that level, you shouldn't be speaking on these people. Let's normalize speaking on people who are within your level. If you're gonna speak negatively about them and then throw out that argument, I mean, speak about whoever you want. It's a free country. Say whatever you like, but don't go there. Don't say I can say this about her because I'm this person and you're trash. Girl, calm down. Just say I wanted to talk about her. Just say that. Don't be weird.
Well, apparently he has. Apparently this ain't his first time kind of speaking in a, I guess, condescending, negative way about Chloe. So he is keeping that same energy, apparently.
No, he keeps that same energy. I just want him to follow through with it. Like, don't apologize for shit that you're not really sorry for. Lose your job. Do what you do. Get the backlash. Take that. I would rather you stand up and be like a real. Say it with your chest again. Like, let people hate you because you're doing it not to be. You're doing it to be liked now, and you want people to not like this girl because you don't like her, but now you're trying to get like some, oh well, I guess I can't talk about her because she's unproblematic, so I'll just wait for this to cool down so I can roll on to somebody else and tear their ass apart, and then y'all like me for that because y'all think that's funny.
And you know what get like what kind of got me in terms of, because first, actually, before I even get into all of that, let me get into this whole Disney thing. I just wish we would like really have honest conversations and be honest in terms of this whole Disney and associating with Disney. Let's call a spade a spade. Disney's also the same fucking place that if you look into all of their branding, if you look into all of their designs, the conspiracy theorists would say that there's a lot of Illuminati associated with Disney, and there's a lot of dark magic associated with Disney. So this whole thing, especially me knowing how intelligent Funky Dineva is, then if you are aware of that, if you know this, if you know that the industry and you know that Hollywood is very much corrupted, then why are we still trying to push this narrative from a brand that on the front end is for children, but on the back end is over here for dark magic or quote unquote evil magic or whatever, or cults or whatever, and yet we're still trying to go with this narrative that, oh, okay, we're going to go with this picture perfect image of a woman and she's supposed to be playing a child, but yet in real life she's pregnant. I'm not understanding that. Let's just have a real honest conversation.
Oh, well, like,
I want
to movie now.
Because I want to deepen this conversation too. But before I do so, I want to respond to some of the stuff that's going on in the chat. How do y'all feel about what Black Cover Boy says, who says that well, first of all, shout out to Rap Female Elite in the chat. Hey, boo. Black Cover Boy says Funky has talked about a woman to look before on his platform in TGIF before. Everybody kikied and cackled then, but when he did it to Chloe, oh, now it's a problem. Yeah, he was wrong, but come on now. And then he also said in a comment that it's selective outrage. I watched Kinga Reed's video on this as well. And Kinga Reed made a very good point when he spoke about the drama with Chloe and Funky. And he said that, which is true, you cannot fight anti-blackness with anti-blackness. So the minute that Funky Dineva does something that's not liked, the go-to can't be how ugly he is, but then be mad at him for being upset at somebody else and using their looks as an expression of his frustration toward them. He said there's a way to critique Funky Dineva without talking about his features, without talking about the way he looks, without also using that same system against him. What do y'all think about that?
Well, I understand it, but whenever I do it, I'm just calling out the hypocrisy. It's like, sir, how are you literally going to use a system that you don't even fucking benefit from? Like, and I know what I'm about to, well, I probably shouldn't say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. I feel like a lot of people probably wouldn't even like, and I'm just going to be shallow. I'm going to have to. I feel like a lot of people would still care, but if people would kind of see if he had some sort of leverage to some people, not saying me, not saying other people, but to some people, he would have leverage if, quote unquote, you were the beauty standard. Like, it's like a broke motherfucker talking about another broke motherfucker. It's like, bitch, you the same as me. How the fuck you gonna call me ugly by quote unquote some beauty standards, etc. when bitch you part of that as well too? It's the hypocrisy. It's like hold the mirror up like, girl, what the fuck are you talking about? Bitch, because you're trying to use the beauty standard of being skinny, which is why he talked about her face being fat. But yet, sir, the same beauty standards and the same criteria that you're trying to uplift, glorify, and amplify also demonize your aesthetic as well too. You are a dark-skinned, melanated man, queer on top of that. And then your features can arguably be criticized because you can be criticized because of your features. But then yet you want to literally want to use the exact same system to demonize and hurt this woman, especially when she didn't even do anything. She was coming in defense of her sister. It was misplaced. Oh, that's all I want to say.
Okay, hold on. It is 400 plus folk in the building, and it's only 183 likes on this video. I do have Super Freaky Grandmama cute the fuck up and down, and I also have Aaliyah and R. Kelly's eldest daughter cute the hell up to help serenade y'all with a 4-page letter if y'all need some assistance running them thumbs up because girl, we are working. Okay, I gave y'all a 9-hour live before Miss Hot Topics, girl. Now we on here doubling down, honey. Come on now. Let's get charitable now. I love you long time now. Come on. Come on, honey. Come on. Okay, so let's get into another aspect of this because, you know, I was trying to look at the entire, like I put the situation with Funky Dineva on landscape mode and looked at it from as wide of a lens as possible, okay? Because I know things like this don't get said in just. So, and me and Reckless was talking about this earlier too. I think me, Reckless, and Trimil actually. So, anybody who watches TGIF on the regular knows that both all three, Al, Claudia, and Funky, are very like conservative and right-winged when it comes to like sex positivity. They have expressed, all of them have expressed kind of being over this hypersexualized culture. They sided with India Irie, who spoke out against Megan Thee Stallion, etc., for her twerking hypersexual performance at the Black Essence Festival. They've spoken constantly about like Suki and just kind of being curious as to when this thotty culture is going to be over. They all have kind of expressed this very conservative view and how they would like to just see other types of Black women also get this level of praise and sensationalism, and that it shouldn't always be a motherfucker wanting to eat a nigga's ass and have a brown booty hole in order to be propped up. That why can't, you know, the girls who got their clothes on, who stand for education, who, you know, are owning property and business owners, why they can't get that same type of pedestalization, etc. So when all of the heat got put on Ariel Bailey, Chloe Bailey's sister, when all Hallie, when all the heat got put on her about this pregnancy, I realized that at this point for Funky Dineva, the possibility and hypothetical of her being pregnant was the straw that broke the camel's back for him, because he's been secretly rooting for the Hallies of the community. He's been secretly rooting for the traditional, wholesome girl next door who is just precious and virtuous to counteract what they would call the slutatious thotty movement that's happening. And so the thought of her being pregnant just sent him absolutely over the top. And it was the catalyst for all of his disappointment and frustration about her relationship choice and all of that to come out. And Funky hasn't been the only person to kind of put this, put this burden on her, because a lot of people are rooting for a Hallie, and a lot of people are wanting to see those type of Black girls also like be in a bag and do they shit. And a lot of people do feel like there's not enough of that. So a lot of people are invested in her success. A lot of people are kind of invested in her because she's kind of one of the few, I guess, Black female young icons of this generation who are representing the girl next door. And a lot of people do feel compelled to try to protect that. And they are concerned about her relationship to this simp, to this incel who's already cheated on her, who's already like kind of been a liability to her career, such as D and G putting out a few months ago this laundry list of how he likes stanky, hardcore, sweaty, funky feet ass sex, and people was just like, girl, your girlfriend is Ariel Bailey, honey. Your girlfriend is the little black mermaid. Even though you're not putting her name in this, you're her boyfriend. Clearly, we know y'all sexually active. Why would you be this descriptive about what your sexual preferences are when you know that who people are going to make the face of that is going to be her, considering that, once again, this is a black girl adjacent to this white bag she's getting to, okay? And everybody knows in the black community that the white bag is a lot different. It's a lot thicker and dense than the black bag is. And when you get into a position as a black performer, a black talent, to enter into a crossover appeal, that's a big deal and something that is a rare find and a rare opportunity and manifestation for black talent. So a lot of people have just been kind of unnerved and very nervous and paranoid for Halle. And so this thought that she could be pregnant, it really just is kind of disappointing to a lot of folk. It does not excuse, well, this is also separate from his Chloe criticism, but just sticking to Halle and why he kind of harped on it. If you listen to like, if you kind of follow the continuity of the TGIF cast and kind of like the kind of shit they kind of be pressed about and they kind of keep their foot on, like, I was like, okay, like, yeah, y'all really invested in her and her visibility and her making it and hoping that more girls, more black girls will be represented in this, like, etc. So what do y'all think about that though?
Actually, I love that you went down that road. Can you do me a favor? Because the device that I'm actually on, I can't pull anything up. But can you look up Claudia Jordan magazine cover and just go to the images for me, please?
Claudia Jordan. Claudia, and you got thumbs up from me. Thank you, Claudia Jordan magazine cover. Let me see here. Oh, you know what? I know where you're getting at, bitch. I know where you're gonna go, bitch. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Let me share my OD. It's a piece of screen chat. Hold on. Let me share. Thumbs up, up the video, you guys. All right, this is Claudia Joy and honey popping that good puss on the front of Jadua. She's also on the front here, Black Men's Magazine, which also, you know, is kind of rumored to exploit black women and black female sexuality. Here it is. She's also on the Smith, in her two-piece bikini and her clappers, out her biracial clappers, girl. Here it is. Let me see. Oh, very much so. You know, a nice half-naked still shot of her. Okay, I will let you talk the context or the point.
So
Reckless.
the point is that how dare they talk about thotty culture and have this stance of thotty culture? But my thing is this, Claudia Jordan, based on these pictures, we can also assume that you were also part of thotty culture as well. So how the fuck are y'all, Funky Dineva, Claudia Jordan, Al Reynolds, gonna talk about thotty culture and demonize thotty culture when your boss, aka Claudia Jordan, was also part of thotty culture? Because the thing about it too is that I'm talking about the representation of what's actually being put out. I'm not talking about the people that Claudia Jordan may have slept with. And that same logic can be applied to Halle. Hopefully I didn't butcher it. Halle. We're going to get this right one day.
One day.
Ariel Bailey.
Miss Bailey. And the thing about it is that what we're talking about is the representation, what's being put out from Miss Bailey. We're not actually always talking about the thousands of other fucking people that she may or may not have slept. We're only talking about one person that she's in relationship to. And the thing about it, and the reason why I don't judge Claudia Jordan on her being on the magazines is because she's multifaceted. Yes, she may represent or be a sex symbol, or she may be on cover of magazines, but also she's a very intelligent woman. And that same logic can be applied to Miss Bailey. Yes, she may be in a relationship, and yes, she might be having a child, but let's not forget she had a huge moment of becoming the first Black mermaid. Let's not forget she's very talented musically when it comes down to singing, when it comes down to producing and even coming with their own beats. So the same way that people expect and they want people to be multifaceted when it comes out to their existence, they need to do the exact same thing. And once again, how can you literally sit on a platform and hold her to a standard that you're not even holding yourself? No shade.
You know what Claudia would say to that, Reckless, which is that, bitch, I'm not adjacent to I'm not cashing a Disney check.
Well, you are cashing a Fox Soul check, and that Fox Soul check lets you know that you need to keep your clothes on. No, and also, to be completely honest with that, with you keeping your clothes on, they possibly could have judged you before they even gave you the opportunity to even have your show. They're like, oh no, you see all these magazines? No, she's not gonna be on here.
You know what she would say? But bitch, they didn't, because Fox Soul ain't Disney.
Okay, and Disney.
I don't have a demographic of girls under 16.
And with that being said, Disney didn't do anything either, so they need to be quiet and stop talking about what the hell the what ifs. Then because the thing about it, if it ever happens, then let's talk about it. But it hasn't happened, so let's be quiet then. Because the same way that she can say that it has not happened, they gave me my own show, then let's be quiet about that as well. And I will do the same. But once again, the car can go forward, it can go backwards. And keep that same energy, Al Reynolds and also Funky Dineva, because they're the same ones said that they felt like Miss Bailey, girl, I'm not going to tempt it at this point. Miss Bailey was lying about being pregnant and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, it's not that serious. It's not that deep. If she's pregnant, if you believe she's pregnant and you feel like she's lying, okay, who gives a fuck? I don't give a fuck. But they're literally trying to put her on this pedestal. They're not holding themselves. Excuse me. Last time I checked, Al Reynolds, like Claudia Jordan said in the video, you haven't lied about anything in your career. Funky, you haven't lied about things in your career. So now all of a sudden, when she gets to lying, or possibly lying, or not feeling like, or not 1% feeling comfortable telling the truth about something, all of a sudden y'all want to have this huge giant congressional hearing. But it was okay when you did it, but now when she does it, it's a problem. Once again, stop trying to hold people to a different standard that you don't hold yourself. That's it.
A brief commercial break. Can somebody go and tell Al Reynolds that I want him to fuck me? That's all. Next story is, thank y'all for that. That was a very good.
Well, damn, I didn't get to say nothing.
Oh, I thought you commented on the apology.
No.
You did about. Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm talking about with the whole.
Oh, the pregnancy thing. Yes.
Them left winging it or what, right winging it, whatever. I wanted to say, and it's very brief. Hallie is 23 years old. So if she wants to get pregnant by her boyfriend, that is completely her right. That is nobody's business. She doesn't have to share that information with anyone, whether she's getting a Disney check or a check from McDonald's. She's 23 years old. She's a grown woman. Okay. And when they talk about conservatorship, listen, you can literally, allegedly, and you actually can, but you can Google the men that Claudia Jordan has been with. Like, if there's a list and that she's allegedly been with, you can actually Google it right now. It's like 20 niggas long. So, and she's not married. So I don't know why she would think that she can police other people's vaginas about who they can be with and who they can't. She can't talk about the Sukianas and whatever, because even Sukiana has reportedly said that she's only freaky with her man. Right? So I don't know what, and you know, Funky is a slut. So I don't know why he even talking about pussy anyway.
Not a slut.
And Al, I'm not sure about Al and his sexual appetites. Hopefully you get some, Conscious. But I know that Funky is a slut. He's admitted
And
that he's a slut and he does
mhm,
booger sugar. So,
mhm.
like, girl,
which is
you're a slut. So,
which 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 is which is the hypocrisy. That's why I was like, I used to watch Funky. I used to be deep into Funky, and he has talked about him and his sexual activities. That's why I'm like, how can you literally be on the 4th Street trying to condemn hoes when you, if you let you tell it in so many words,
Well,
you're one.
and to be clear, you guys, Claudia has never like slut. She
Yeah, she hasn't done
actually
it.
was a defending Halle and
Yeah, she
everything.
was.
Like she wasn't,
Yes,
in opposition.
yeah, she was.
oh,
But
well, cool.
no, but my thing, no, but my thing was when it came down to Funky and Al. Okay, that's cool. You want to keep that fire when it comes down to Miss Baby. Now I'm gonna need for you to do a 180 and keep that same fire and that standard to your host. Because once again, it's you're holding other people to a standard that you don't even hold people in your circle to that standard at all. I'm just saying.
Al does like to be peed on, and I would do the peeing.
Oh, see, that's what's up.
Yeah, he's in the water sport,
We love
and
sexual expression.
yeah, he's in the water sport, and I love the surfboard.
And he has the nerve to be sitting up here talking about her being pregnant and lying about it, but meanwhile you over here about to catch an infection. Girl,
Who?
I'm talking about them being peed on.
Oh, that ain't an infection. This pee is sterile.
Yeah, okay, girl.
Not me, girl.
No, because bitch, because of the way motherfuckers be over here having all these pig feet, pork, pickled eggs, hot sausages, collard greens, and cornbread, all the
Oh, ain't nothing
Hennessy
wrong
and
with all that.
all of
Ain't nothing wrong. Now, ain't nothing wrong with that because the only people that I let do nasty things to me are vegans. I don't let meat eaters do nasty stuff to me. If you vegan, you can do nasty stuff to me. If you a meat eater, Oh, okay. I guess that concluded the conversation. So I guess.
Oh yeah, it did.
Yeah, I mean, that's
So we gonna be moving it along. Y'all favorite bald-headed sister in Christ, Miss Unhinged with Four Loko K. Greer. Y'all know she got sued down to the ground back in what 2021 by no other than the Bodak yellow bad bitch Cardi B herself, child. Well, y'all know that Unwind been all up and through the bankruptcy court trying to get her debt situated, and apparently Unhinged has submitted a payment plan to bankruptcy court regarding her $4 million debt to Miss Cardi B. Now, according to court docs, Unhinged filed a plan of reorganization in her Chapter 11 filing, which entails how she will be paying Cardi B in increments of $220,000. Her petition cites that she only has between $50,000 to $100,000 worth of shit, while her debt ranges between $1 to $10 million. That $100,000 worth of assets include a raggedy ass 2021 Chevrolet Silverado, lawn chairs, and blow up mattresses as home furniture, $500 worth of electronics, $2,500 worth of stolen clothes, and 2 eBay auctioned off Louis Vuitton purses. Therefore, after calculating her brokenness, decided that she can pay Cardi in $220,000 20 quarterly payments to settle her $3.8 million defamation lawsuit. Now, Cardi has not responded to this proposed plan, but she will have the luxury of voting on whether or not this proposal is approved of. Unhinged's next confirmation hearing is scheduled for October 23rd of this year in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Reckless, what are your thoughts on your favorite blogger?
I don't know about all that. I can't stand her motherfucking ass. Girl, I hope she gets sued again. That's all I got to say. Fuck her.
Okay. Tramiel?
Same.
Okay.
That lady is a hood rat.
Oh Jesus.
Well, I had told Unhinged at the time to fake her damn death after the verdict was rendered by driving the family's minivan over the Blue Ridge, Georgia mountains with 2 strands of her armpit hair being left at the scene of the crime for forensic scientists to find, and to doggy paddle to the closest African country to the U.S., which is Morocco, and change her name to Shadima Transrena Hadaza. Okay. Instead, this hoe had the nerve to sell her son to Africa for a living room table and 2 golf clubs when it's her goofy ass who was better off obtaining a dual citizenship. Because, bitch, you about to be third world broke and jailed after Cardi and Miss T.S. Madison gets finished with that 27-piece, bitch. Because y'all know Miss Maddie affirmed in her Jason Lee Crenshaw Unlocked interview, baby, that Unhinged best to be worried about her lawyers because they about to submit that whole to the Georgia County jail. So I'm happy to hear that after all this been said and done, that at least 27 piece Unhinged 27 pieces is trying to create a payment plan and $220,000 in 20 quarterly increments. All right,
20.
shout out to Unhinged. Yeah, it's gonna take 20 to get to 4 million. It's gonna take 20 $220,000 payments.
You know, I don't even know why people still follow her. I personally wouldn't want to follow somebody who I have more money than, because with that debt, baby, I definitely got more money than her at this particular time. Because that debt to income ratio is not giving. You don't listen to broke people.
Oh my gosh. For me, honestly, I think on some level, and this is gonna be me saying it, I feel like at some level, her supporters are like her on some degree, either on a conscious or subconscious level. Because if you know, even people that say this is for entertainment, okay, cool. That means that on some level, you with the fuck shit. That's really what it is. This is a person who has lied and pushed lies on content creators, on celebrities, etc. And the thing with Tasha K is that I'm not even mad at Tasha K. I'm not mad at Tasha K because Tasha K keeps showing people who the fuck she is. She shows you her psychology. She shows you how she operates. And any supporter that continues to follow her, I'm sorry, you with the bullshit. At this point, you cannot say I do not know. You cannot say I do not know. At some point, it's gonna have to be that person. She has gotten into it with Larry. She's gotten into it with CTV. She's gotten into it with Lovely T. She's gotten into it with Malibu Dollface. She's gotten into it with T.S. Madison. She's gotten into it with too many people. And at some point, I think the problem is you. And if at this point no one can say I do not know, or I don't think that. No, you do. You know that. You think it. But however, with that being said, you're just like her. That's how I feel about it. If you support her on a conscious or subconscious level, you're just like her. If you like it for the entertainment and the messiness, then guess what? On a conscious or subconscious level, you're messy. Like, I'm sorry, people don't continuously support, or maybe I could be jumping out the window when I say this. People don't continuously support, give money to, continuously go to people that they 100% disagree with, or they don't align with. They don't do that unless they're there to contend and refute anything that she says or does. But supporters don't do that. Supporters support you. So on a subconscious level, on conscious level, they what the fuck shit too. And it is what it is.
So the article that I read from for 220 was hiphopdx.com. Some people say they thought it was 20,000. But 20,000 even in 20 quarterly increments is not going to put a dent in Miss Lady's $4 million situation. $20,000. Now that's probably all she in fact can't afford. But when you really think about the way that Unhinged trying to live out here, girl, she got the backup channel for the backup channel, girl. She got Web, she got Yep, she got the YouTube channel, girl. She trying to go on a goddamn comedy tour through all the ghettos of Florida, baby. Miss Mama is trying to get to work, bitch.
She should just create OnlyFans.
Girl, she'll definitely be in debt if she does that. In the words of Kaya, get money, bitch. Moving along. Last but not least, girl, we got to get into this real bizarre ass story. This shit is nutty by nature. And it involves Blueface and his diabolical, twisted, emotionally disturbed as family. Girl, he's disturbed as nuclear family. His mama Carlisa and her son, Blueface's brother, are going through it. Now, I'm just going to let y'all hear some of this for yourself because he went on IG Live and had told all the damn church's business. And then he also made a shocking claim on his Insta story, girl. So let's go ahead and do an old nasty piece of fair use chat. And this is going to be courtesy of somebody's channel. How doing? Make sure y'all thumb it up as you are coming into the building, honey. Whether you are a Bush baby, part of the replay gang, or you actively in the streets with me right now, getting your entire life, child. Okay, now this video and audio is courtesy of Straight T Media on this here YouTube. Shout out to Straight T Media for the T indeed. This is Blueface brother Andre exposing their mother Carlisa on IG Live. Take a listen to this shit, y'all.
On every single instance that ever happened, your own people, you know, like that, like I be wondering, like, where do you be at with it? Why do you do the shit that you do? Like, you don't love your kids? Like, it's not a natural instinct to love a motherfucker who lived in your stomach? Like, how? I just can't comprehend it. Like, a motherfucker who literally lived in your stomach, literally. I wasn't connected to him, but nigga, you felt my heart beating in your stomach, bro. For you to just take it out and eat it for clout and for the bag, come on, bro. All three of your kids been through hella shit. We all done been through our own little story, bro. Some mega shit. And you just know where to fucking be found. You just happy as a bitch. They cared. They dads didn't need. They want them. Come on, bro. Stop it. He might not have wanted your crazy ass, but come on, bro. Nigga, who the fuck lose a custody battle? What woman you know lose a custody battle to the nigga? Come on, man. So yeah, make sure y'all, if she start talking that shit again, tell her to tell the truth. That's it. Just tell her to tell the truth. That's it. You know, tell her Andre made the whole show, gave you all your dreams. You talking about Netflix gonna call you one day. You going on live talking about Krishan. Like, you just going on your live yelling at your phone all damn day. You're not even talking about shit. You ain't talking about no talent. You're not producing nothing. You just on your phone. Tell her if she never talk about Krishan again, y'all wouldn't tune in. If she couldn't say Krishan or Blueface, y'all wouldn't tune in, bro. And that's it. There's no talent. There's no orchestration. There's no leadership. There's no nothing. It's just, I got beat up and I'm mad. Fuck all that, bro. So, yeah, I don't know, man. But, you know what I'm saying? I'm thugging. I'm going to do me. I'm going to figure it out. You know, I ain't really tripping. Nigga don't, you know? It is what it is, bro. She still ain't hit me to join the live. She ain't even in here. So, what's up? I said about your read-through. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, ran away, tried to leave a nigga. I remember I was at she took me to a graduation party, bro. And, like, towards the end, you know, kids start leaving. This, you know, I'm the last kid left. I look up, man, this bitch done left me. I didn't see this bitch again for, like, 4 months. This is a stranger. Don't get me wrong. This is a friend of the family, but this is still somebody I'm not related to, bro. And she tried to deny this shit, but you guys, all my aunties, bro, just left me there. I was in the room with this nigga, whoever the fuck they was, this parent. He's trying to call everybody they know, trying to find somebody who I'm related to come get me, bro. And she just took off and left. I didn't see her again for months. They finally got a hold of my uncle, and I lived with my uncle for a minute, bro. And she just left, was gone. This type of mother that you are, you're a fucking banshee. I tried to love you still because I'm a real nigga. Because I wanted to love my mother. Even though she ain't never loved me, bro. You done have 2 different husbands put their hands on me, bro. For some shit that you did, because you want to keep fucking with your side, nigga. But keep blaming everything on everybody else, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? You done have me tricked out trying to protect you from all these niggas and turned myself into a whole crazy person out here fighting crackheads and shit for you because you want to fucking do all the bullshit that you doing. For what? Who you know? I started arguing with a nigga and then running their sunroom. I'm 15. And Charlie's like, yeah, you won't come in here though. I'm 15. It's a grown ass bodybuilder, bro. Why you keep having me try to squabble this nigga? I don't know. If y'all can't see from her character what type of person, fuck what she said, because she gonna lie her ass off. She gonna lie like a dog in heat, bro. She'll lie about what day it is. I swear to you, and look you dead in your face and lie to you, right? If you can't tell that she lying or who telling the truth, bro, then you know what I'm saying? You gotta use your intuition because she greatly, like, she's a very bad person, bro.
His actual connection is messing up in the actual stream. It's not there.
Very, bro. Both her sons is gang members, and her daughter's dating one. Come on.
So he just said that him and Blueface is gang members, and their sister is dating a gang member. So how's that for a parental report card?
Look at your track record. And then she'd call one of my aunties like, I was a good mother, huh? Meanwhile, her son in jail. Right as we speak. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, miss me with that bullshit, bro. It's throw the whole batch away, you know? So if we can, bro, we can get the truth out. We can really talk about the truth. Because that's what we need. You need to stop. You need a real man in your life that's going to stand over you and hold you accountable for the shit that you're going to do whatever the fuck you want to do. And there's no accountability. You treat your kids like shit. You treat your daddy like shit. You treat your mama like shit. You jumped your own fucking mama. Who jumped their mama? Because they lit a cigarette in the car. Who jumped their mama and lied about the shit, bro? My grandma had to tell you with all the hurt in the world in her eyes that her daughter and her granddaughter jumped her. Come on, man. Niggas be trying to cap with that bullshit. Then you try to play Christian. You're not a Christian. You need to go to church. I go to church more than you. Bro. Miss me with the bullshit, man. Yeah, you know, I'm gonna talk about it today because my feelings is like extra uber hurt that my own mother like tried to steal my clothing brand. I've been working on this clothing brand since I was in prison, trying to figure out how to provide for myself since prison, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take your thing and I'm gonna do this. She got sketches made. She's showing me the sketches, talking. I'm like, you just been working on my shit? After I told her I ain't want nothing for the show. You can have the show because I know you're not gonna pay me anyway, so I'm not gonna argue with it. I'm gonna use the show to build my own little clout up, spread my brand, get my shit out there. Cool. Then she stole my shit. Like, that's how much of a vulture this nigga is. You're not cool with just taking all the Patreon money, which is almost at $10,000 a fucking month. You almost making $10,000 a fucking month, bro. You ain't paid me or your daughter or your stepdaughter. And the whole show is us. Come on, man. So, I don't know. I'm gonna never talk about this shit again after today, but my heart is broken today on everything I love. Like, I lost my mom today, you know? Because I can't never come back from this. Because I'm gonna stop, bro. I should have been done with her when she threatened my daughter. What type of motherfucker, you know, threaten their own granddaughter? Me and her argue, have a whole different conversation. They got nothing to do with no babies. My daughter is not even there. I'm telling her about the damn dog, and she trying to say, you're just angry in the morning. I know I'm angry because you're coming down here yelling at me about these damn dogs. You yell at everybody. You beat up all your friends. She said, yeah, and it could be your daughter too. Your grandchild. This is the banshee that, you know what I'm saying, that I was raised by. This is what I had to deal with. This is what I had to overcome. This is the person I had to still find a way to be a cool, decent person in spite of. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, I might have low-key choked her that day. Like for real. Like, I just, my brain couldn't really fully process what the fuck was going on. She saw it build it in me, and she took off running and ran upstairs, bro. I just sat there for a minute like, did this bitch really just threaten my fucking daughter? Her granddaughter? And it could be your daughter too? How would you take that? If we argue and I say you get into it with everybody and say, yeah, it could be your daughter too. How would you, like, what? Bitch, what? I low-key might, I don't know what I was going to do that day, bro, but I lost my shit that day. And I chased her upstairs, and her husband dope fiend me, bro, and then she jumped on my back and then tried to lie and tell the story a whole different way. I don't know, man. I really think she do need Jesus. She made me not want to believe in God. Because I'm like, as much as you quote the Bible, there is no good in your heart at all. That little shit that happened them years ago with my brother that ruined his career, that ruined everything that he built, that was her. That was her selfish pride because she couldn't be the star, bro. It had nothing to do with my sister. It had nothing to do with shit, bro. She told me I had to put him in his place. My brother lost millions of dollars because you had an attitude. Changed his whole life. He worked hard to build everything that he built by himself. My mom didn't touch none of that shit. My mom gave up on him before he even started rapping. So my brother left school and went back to California, my mom was done with him. And then showed back up again when she seen him on BET trying to ask for something. And then when he was giving her little bits, giving her 10 bands here, 5 bands there. She like, no, I need a car. I need a whole fucking house. I need this and that and some more shit. Nigga, you left me in a car. My brother almost died sleeping in a car, nigga. And this motherfucker was asleep. Fucking in a house, a big ass house. Still got a big ass house, bro. But then want to show up and ask for something. Miss me, bro. You know, I pray for it. I really do.
Okay, so I'm gonna cap that right there, you guys. There is about 4 or 5 more minutes left of that live stream, but you guys can go over to Straight T Media on YouTube if you guys didn't get an opportunity to see Andre's spill about his mother. As you guys can see here, I mean, he's absolutely dragging her. He goes on to talk about how the reality show that they all are a part of, his mother is taking all of the money when it's mainly Andre and I think his sister, who really are the ones who are carrying the show, but his mama takes all of the proceeds. Apparently she makes like 10 grand from Patreon, which is where she has the reality show at in her Patreon, but she isn't really cutting that money even. Of course, you guys heard things here about his childhood. He also went on in a Insta story and talked about how she ain't shit. She ain't never taught him shit, but how to eat pussy. That sent everybody that created like shockwaves because he didn't really expound upon exactly how in fact she did that. And clearly if he had to be taught how to do that, she more than likely was teaching a very young Andre how to eat pussy. Very disturbing allegations. And her response to all of this, everything that he went live and said on Instagram and everything that he said in his Insta story about her not being shit and teaching him how to eat pussy, her response was this here on the screen. Let me remove this fair use. Lord, please forgive him. That was Blueface and Andre's mother's response to everything that Blueface has ever testified to about his mom, everything that now his brother is corroborating and then some about their mom. The mom's response is, Lord, forgive them. First thing first, Tramel, what are your thoughts on Blueface mom and Blueface brother and these allegations?
I think it's very unfortunate because I could see that in this lady. Like, just the fact that she goes live on a regular basis to talk about certain things. She never takes accountability for anything when it comes to any of them. And so I can definitely feel like really sad for the brother because I see what she do to Blueface. And it's just like, I think it was one time where they was on, what Chris Brown had said something about, oh, y'all talking about me, but y'all watch Krishan and Blueface beat each other up every week on Zeus or whatever. And she gets up on her live like, he looks up to you. You're supposed to be da 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 this. And everybody used to call him, he's the Chris Brown. And, you know, he grew up watching you and stuff like that. You were his role model and stuff like that. Like, you raised him. I'm like, Chris Brown raised your son? I think she just doesn't understand like accountability, and then she's going around talking about the men that she could have had in her past and all this other stuff. She really is like,
and how she's been with men who got bigger dicks than Blueface.
Yeah, it's given like she's really in love with her sons, and she wants to make them her men, like in a not a like a.
It's like emotional incest.
Yeah, not even emotional. I think it's probably I'm gonna say alleged physical.
Yeah,
Like
because now
she
I'm saying,
literally
yeah, it
wants
sounds like
him to
it's
be
some
her
physical components to that.
man. Like she wants either one of her sons to be her man at any given particular time. Like the fact that he said that she would run to him when she would get into it with her dude to protect her and stuff like that. It's just like, these are not your men. And then when Blueface finally started getting money, she was like making him buy her all this stuff, and she's constantly like, I need to see a DNA test for Krishan's baby. I'm like, are you the father? Like, are you trying to make sure you like one of his other baby mamas or something? Like, you're just the mother. 'Cause I'm not taking care of no, I'm not having no outside babies in my or whatever she was saying. I'm just like, this lady is sick. She's a sick woman, and I believe everything that that young man is saying. I feel so bad for him. I'm glad he's finally, opening up his eyes, because when you deal with that type of abuse for so long and you want your mom to be a good person because you see other people have good moms and you see it on TV and you think your mom is supposed to be that way, so you try to make the stuff happen and you try to keep those relationships, but really your mom could be your worst enemy, and I think that's his case. And that's all I got to say about that.
Wow. Reckless.
She ain't shit ass mammy. To be completely honest, this is a lady I've always kind of kept my foot on. I'm gonna say, well, this is all my perspective. I don't know anything for a fact. I don't know these people personally, but from what I think and from what I believe, she ain't shit. I do believe the sons, both of them, is because I've seen the interaction from where Blueface was grooming his own son and questioning his son about his sexual orientation at a very young age, even though in different conversations, children don't know anything about sexual orientation, but that conversation came up.
And also having him around sexually charged provocative behavior.
Right.
You got a whole strip club in your house. Like what, around a 5-year-old, and you asking him why he not looking at these girls' asses? He's like, I want some chips.
And then to think, where did he learn that from? And then in the heat of the moment where backlash was coming from the general public and it was going to Blueface and it was going to the mother and all different other family members, she said on her Instagram that she did talk to Blueface about it. And his response is that, why is it such a big problem? You did it with me. And so when the brother that's speaking right now, when he said that allegedly, when he actually said that you did nothing for me but teach me how to eat pussy, that's the first thing that popped in my mind. When Blueface said out his mouth, well, basically told his mother, as in, you, everything that I'm doing with my son, exactly what you did to me. So what I really hope, and I probably shouldn't hope this, I hope Krishan Rock beat her ass again.
She beat the piss out that lady. Literally. And at the time, I was just like, oh my gosh, she done beat up this man's mama.
Right, how disrespectful.
But now finding out like what type of mama she got, I would have beat the brakes off that bitch too.
Because the thing is that like she's a horrible person.
And the fact that he let Krishan tells us about what the underbelly feelings are toward their mom. Like, it's because there's deep-rooted resentment there towards her. And that's why they allowed Krishan to let loose on the mama. And we didn't know all that at the time that particular story came up and out. But now, as we learn more about her, because she's clout chasing off of her son and her own personality is more visible. And now, people are speaking out. I'm like, oh, now this deepens. Like, now this provides more context for all of this dysfunction and drama. This kind of adds a antidote. This adds why this looks the way that it does, because the root of it lies in the mother and the absence of a healthy masculine energy in their life. But continue on, Reckless.
Oh, now in terms of the mother, I just wanted to keep it short and sweet. I already knew that, and I think maybe because I've seen a pattern in terms of the way that she interacts with her children. And the way that I'm not gonna say interacts, but I'm gonna say the interaction that we have been allowed to see, and the way that they may respond to controversy, etc. Because I was like, if Blueface didn't have this representation in his life, aka a father or whoever in his life, then where is he getting this grooming things from? Like where is it coming from? This stuff this does not happen out of the blue. So maybe I was like, maybe it's his friends, maybe it's somebody, his uncles, etc. And that all still could be true. But when the mama said on Instagram live, and she literally said that, Blueface rebuttal was that everything I'm doing to my son is what you did to me. And then her response was, don't do what I do, do as I say.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh yeah, she ain't shit. She
but
ain't shit ass
forgive
mammy.
them though. God forgive them.
Right. And that's exactly what she did too, where they talked about where the backlash from Blueface questioning his son's sexual orientation just because he was being a kid and wanted a snack instead of some ass. She was like, I rejoice. I don't see what the big problem is. We can rejoice with with him being straight and all this other stuff and blah blah blah. And then not only that, as the backlash came in, all of a sudden I thought it was very interesting that biblical rhetoric started to come up. I was like, I know these same motherfuckers that literally get on different platforms, aka rap off beat, are pillaging drugs, selling pussy, or have women who may sell pussy. Everything that goes against what the Bible says are now trying to quote the Bible, but yet you literally have a son that's involved in the music industry and also has a reality TV show that exploits women and their sexual orientation. And the thing about it, yes, you may not be the one actually doing those things, but however, you encourage and you reap the benefits of your son doing those things. But yet you want to get in on the forefront and try to use biblical rhetoric. Girl, go play in traffic.
So I'm going to say something that is very difficult, probably, maybe, to hear. I'm about to say something very difficult. So I want y'all to strap your seatbelts in. And I agree with both my co-host Tramel and Reckless. I agree with both of their sentiments. I'm going to also add as a caveat that this is also what happens when you live in a patriarchy that attempts to remove women's rights when it comes to abortion and autonomy, because the reality is Blueface and Andre should have been aborted. These men are now in pain, and they are openly perpetuating pain against other people as a result of trauma that is not theirs. As Andre just testified, me and my brother are gang members. So they commit criminality and harm against people economically, physically. It's no telling what type of blood is on their hands, directly and or indirectly, on Andre and Blueface's hands as it relates to their gang activity. We can already see what type of atrocities they're willing to commit before the country. Hell, Blueface done beat the hell out of Krishan's father, put blood in his mouth, openly put hands on Krishan, looked her family in the face in downtown LA, and basically told them that he was going to continue to do as he pleased. He got locked up for beating the hell out of a woman in Las Vegas while having Krishan hold her, stand on top of her and beat her to a pulp. And then, remember, he was arrested on charges of being a part of a shootout that led to a man being shot all in his arm and shit. And this is the shit that's happening in front of the camera. So you can only imagine how much more diabolical, how much more nigament, how much more ignorance, how much more destruction takes place behind the scenes, and the shit we don't get to see, the activity we don't get to bear witness to. And this is what it looks like when you when you force women to have children they don't give a fuck about, children they don't love organically, children they're not prepared and have the emotional or mental resources to raise. And then the alternative can't be the adoption agency, because we know that children, especially minority children, are even more exploited in the foster care system. They endure even more sexual exploitation, physical violence, emotional abandonment, and are treated like a paycheck, and oftentimes spend their whole lives going from pillar to post and feeling a stranger in and out of other people's homes until they turn to the tender age of 18. This is what it looks like when y'all are rallying behind have the baby, have the baby, have the baby, and then the baby goes on to remain a damn baby and emotionally and mentally undeveloped, and then have babies, and then double down and reinforce that trauma into them, and then become menaces of society because life is not ideal. The reality is the conversation about conception can't be stagnated and reduced to it's morally correct to have the child when we aren't just as interested in as pro-lifers in the quality of these children's lives. Y'all, so many people are hell-bent on have the children, but don't want to also nuance the conversation about what type of motherfucking life is this child also going to have once they're here. What is going to be their experience? Who's going to truly care for them? What infrastructure exists? Because these fucked up circumstances are either going to make them heroes or make them into a monster. And unfortunately, Blueface, his sister, his brother Andre, they are living, walking, undiagnosed trauma, who are totally with the shits. So for all of my pro-lifers out there, shout out to you. Shout out to you. Because y'all are part of the reason as to why this part of the problem exists. This is what it looks like when you want parents and want people who never had sex with the intention to get pregnant, when you force them to commit to the entire journey. This is what it looks like when you get people I can't even say what the other thing I was about to say. This is what that looks like. So these boys have been forced into the world. They're having a fucked up experience. They have to grieve their lived experiences. And because they're Black, and then the conversations around mental health in the Black community are also still very much so is a new thing that's coming out of a taboo space, but it's still a very much so a new thing. You got these men, you got this young woman walking around not even knowing that they're in trouble, or know that they're in trouble and don't even really know how to get themselves out of the trouble they never asked to be in. Mm-hmm. Because their existence was through forced labor. Forced labor. And there's going to be many more Bluefaces and Andres in this era of anti-abortion rights. Now, I don't think abortion is also, I wish there were more healthy alternatives and options to consider for young parents who are not ready for children. I am not a person who believes in just having children. Everybody cannot survive trauma. Everybody cannot transmute that shit into something that turns them into a testimony. Everybody does not find a way through trauma. Everybody doesn't have a victorious lap to the finish line as a result of trauma, but also, once again, adoption agency and the foster care system is also not the alternative as well. And it's just sad that abortion right now needs to be a right that people have, because people are bringing other humans into this world, not giving them the love, not giving them the resources, not giving them the life skills to be productive human beings. And then as a result, they become the criminals of our society. They become the heartbreakers and the narcissists and the sociopaths of our society. And then our children and us ourselves have to deal with the product of people not having the right to end this evil and to end this discrepancy and this mutation emotionally and mentally in people before it ever happens, before it ever even gets off the ground. That also, of course, means that more conversations around contraception and sex also need to take place. But a lot of the times, traumatized and hurt people have sex because sex is an outlet.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the way to come into contact with those endorphins. It's a way to come into contact with pleasure, because people who are in pain look for relief, and sex and the participation in sex is one of those outlets and remedies. So this is why the slaves continue to fuck on the plantation despite what their children would inherit as a result of intercourse, because sex in and of itself is a subconscious outlet that we utilize for various reasons. This is a very deep thing. This is a very, very sad state of affairs. These things definitely appear to be true, and not just because Andre and Blueface are saying them, but because we've been able to really see that there's something not well in the buttermilk with the mother herself because of her own unnatural, inappropriate
behavior,
relationship and behavior unto her children. So I stand with Andre in terms of cutting the cord to the toxic, abusive, narcissistic mother who will, if they both maintain, because shout out to Blueface, because a Blueface actually told his mama to her face, "You ain't my type of chick. I'm good on it." And at the time, once again, girl, even that seemed a little harsh, but considering what we all know now, bitch, I got to give Blueface credit for taking one small step toward what could lead to healing by cutting the cancer off at its root. Now he needs to cut the cancer out of himself. Now that he's severed the external version of that poison and cancer, he needs to now cure up the effects of that cancer living long-term in his psyche and long-term in his soul. And I'm happy to hear that Andre is also good on it and chucking up the deuces, because this is one small step to that healing that they both fucking need. Shame on Carlisa. Shame on you. And I want to see Carlisa ass be met with the same motherfucking cancel culture, the same motherfucking heat, the same goddamn smoke that R. Kelly was met with, that Bill Cosby was met with. When these niggas are dysfunctional and out of order and operating in 3D ass consciousness, I want to see that same motherfucking energy kept when the dysfunction is also in the toxic femininity of it all. Give Carlisa ass that everlasting motherfucking work and hold her ass fucking accountable, and support these two black men speaking about their pain and affirm their strength in cutting off this narcissistic, toxic ass motherfucker that isn't a mother, but was just a carrier of the seed.
And you know what's interesting? It's funny that you said that, because remember, I was literally just on the phone with you, like right before we went live, and I would say this is even before Tremel got on the phone with us. And of course, the topic was about something else, but I just thought it was very interesting. I literally said, people love to support the process of bullshit, but then we're shocked, or we are surprised, quote unquote, by the result. Like, if you're not teaching people, or we're not giving people the right to have autonomy over their bodies, aka to be able to terminate a pregnancy, especially if they're not ready, then we have situations like this. And also, in addition to that, because we also know that sex is inevitable, a lot of times for most people, that the education surrounding sexual health and sexual activity has been taken out of schools. And to be completely honest, a lot of parents are not having that conversation with their children. So even when that conversation has been taken out of the schools, that conversation still isn't it still isn't happening. And even when those conversations are happening, it's either too late or it's missing a lot of context. So, once again, we support the bullshit in terms of being pro-life, but yet we don't give a fuck about the stability of that life once it gets here. And we also support the bullshit as in terms of restricting educational pieces that will inform individuals on how to be able to take a safer route in terms of sexual education with sexual health. So that's all I wanted to say. You got to add on to it.
Absolutely. You guys, this was a riveting episode. This was a riveting episode. We kikied, we could cackle, we got into some shit, and as always, you know, we also know how to go from kiki to having a very substantive stimulating dialogue, baby. Y'all better give it up for CT motherfucking B, bitch, because ain't nail motherfucking content creator on these streets, girl, who got this type of flexibility, girl. Okay, girl. Who else can give y'all laughs and gags and roast and all of the things, girl, and then can get into it, honey. Okay, who can plant the shovel deep in the soil, honey? Okay. This is iconic shit in the making, baby. Okay, shout out to Tramiel and shout out to Reckless, honey, because you know birds of the feather flock the motherfucking together. This was dope, you guys. I want to thank y'all for coming through on this Hot Topics today. We got to do this again. Any final thoughts you guys have before we wrap?
Nope.
No, just thank you for having me.
We are
this
complete.
Was nice. Y'all are so smart.
And we are smart, but we just can't pronunciate
Ariel Bailey.
Miss Bailey. Hallie.
But that's gonna be y'all homework for the next for the next week. Hallie.
Oh Lord Jesus.
In the words, we just go move it along. I love y'all. Y'all enjoy y'all weekend. Y'all may see me before the weekend is out. I'll definitely be in Patreon on today. So if you're not signed up to Patreon, make sure that you sign up today. $5 a month, exclusive all access, girl. We get into more personal things over in the Patreon and lots of information and different shit going on in that space. So all information is in the description box. Of course, donations are in the donation handlers are in the description box as well. So if you got your life here, honey, show some motherfucking love. Show me that it's real. Please thumbs up on your way out. I love you long time, and I will see you all later. Bye. Hey, Nico. Hey, boo. Yes, catch your replay, baby. I miss you, Nico. I was thinking about you just last week. I said, girl, where is my Nico at? Where is my Nico? So shout out to you, boo. Be looking for an email from me. I miss you, and I hope you're doing well. I love you all. Bye.